It's still hard to wrap my head around what we witnessed from Quentin Grimes to end the season. All signs point to the Sixers bringing him back, and rightfully so. I was a big fan of the trade immediately, but I'll be honest, I was not expecting the production the Sixers got. 51.2% of his shots were unassisted, and he maintained the best efficiency of his career, 46.9%. He really flourished with the extra responsibility. It got him in a better rhythm throughout the game. Keep in mind, with the Mavericks, over 28.4 of his shots were unassisted. In 2022-23 season, his best year with the Knicks, 41.1% of his shots were unassisted. With the Sixers, he easily got the most freedom of his NBA career, and man, oh man, he went off. And so far throughout his young career, he has produced in multiple roles. You need as many guys as you can get who can just get theirs whenever without a huge advantage, but also the ability to make a tough shot. And he's exactly that, and pretty much the whole Pacers lineup have that ability as well, hence why they are one game away from a championship. Grimes, Maxey, McCain, hopefully Embiid and George can find a way to stay relatively healthy because they're all tough shot makers in their own right, and that should lead to great results offensively. His downhill attack was my favorite thing about him. He can drive the basketball and finish. He was averaging 5 shots in the restricted area per game with the Sixers, while shooting 69% from the field. To put that in perspective, Jaylen Brown attempted 4.3 shots per game in the restricted area while shooting 66% from the field. Is that sustainable in a lesser role? Well, obviously the attempts will likely go down. However, including his time with the Mavericks last season, he averaged 3 restricted area shots per game while shooting 68% from the field. The year before that was his only down year in this regard. Just 1 attempt a game at 56%. But to be honest, that year feels like an outlier considering it was a very weird season for him. Thibs completely gave up on him after giving him consistent run in the year prior, most likely because Thibs was in love with Josh Hart. So his minutes were very inconsistent and dropped off, going from 29 minutes per game to 20 minutes. Then he got traded and never found a rhythm in Detroit. However, 2 years ago in his breakout year with the Knicks in the 2022-23 season, he attempted 2.3 shots in the restricted area per game and shot 71.9%. So it's safe to say he will be lethal attacking closeouts or space and finishing at an elite level. He can definitely feed off the gravity of his teammates. And last year, because the Sixers were so poverty, we didn't get to see one of his best assets. Defensively, he gives it his all and is a heck of a defender on the ball. Here versus the best ISO player in the league, he does as good of a job as you can possibly do versus Shea and forces a miss. Taking away the screen from Jokic, and he forces a tough shot off 1 foot. Then against Steph Curry in the guts of the game, you got to appreciate his effort, fighting around screens, jumping up and down, just trying to force a contested 3 and live with the results because that's all you can do versus Curry. On this one, PJ Washington shuts off Shea, and it's all up to Jalen Williams, but you can't get around this dude. He's just staying in front, forcing him in 2 directions, and then a fadeaway prayer goes unanswered. And here he got switched on Anthony Davis in a terrible situation, and somehow, some way, he finds a way to still get a contest off and force the miss. We must appreciate his pickup point versus Cam Johnson with the shot clock winding down, and of course, he's staying in front, playing physical, and forces a tough yumper. We really couldn't appreciate this skill from him because the Sixers were so bad defensively, but if the Sixers turn it around, start winning games, you're going to see this more and more often, and you're going to start to appreciate it for sure. Not only that, but he will be an above-average passer in a lesser role. He also shown on-ball ability to make a cross-court read in the pick and roll, quick decisions he makes consistently. Will make a pocket pass to his big man from time to time. He pretty much has a little bit of everything in his bag. And his best asset as a shooter is the corner 3. He's arguably one of the best shooters in that spot throughout his NBA career. 48.5% last season with the Mavericks and the Sixers. The season before that, of course, was his only down year, 33.7%. And then going to the 2 seasons prior to that, 43.9%. And as a rookie, 46.2%. I expect when everyone's healthy, he's going to be in that corner spreading the floor as much as possible. He really has developed into a 3-level scorer. The years prior, just look at his shot chart. He was strictly three-pointer or get to the rim. There was rarely ever a mid-range in there. And as expected, his percentage in the mid-range region wasn't too good. He shot 37% with the Mavs and the Sixers and also 38.7% in the paint. But what really matters is him just being a threat from everywhere. It just makes him tougher to guard and it helps him out as a scorer as well. And honestly, the low percentage is kind of expected. This is the first year he's doing it in the game. He took over 2 pull-ups per game, shot 41%. The years prior, 0.6, and then 0.4, and then 0.6 pull-ups attempted. Getting in-game reps can be huge for his development moving forward. I wouldn't be shocked if we see an uptick in efficiency in terms of his mid-range jumper. But overall, one of the most valuable things in basketball right now is having as many 3-level scorers on the court, and Grimes is capable of being that. I'm very excited to see the Sixers fully healthy next year. They probably won't be healthy a lot, but man oh man, does Joel Embiid have a lot of options to run a 2-man game with. You got Tyrese Maxey, we know they're lethal together. Jared McCain, of course. And then you got Quentin Grimes who can run the pick and roll with Joel Embiid in the dribble handoff situation now. Paul George and Joel Embiid also had success in that area at times, although it was very limited because most of the time they were on the court. They were just playing your turn, my turn, and Paul George was kind of just standing and watching. But when they did run the 2-man action, there was some success at times. Overall, there's just more options than ever for Embiid to have the ball and to look at his teammates and be like, I trust this dude. I trust him in the handoff situation. But man, oh man, if there were a year to be competent without Joel Embiid whenever he's injured and off the court, next year is the year. The East is wide open. Tyrese Halliburton just went down. He's probably missing all of next season. We already know Jason Tatum, same thing. If Nick Nurse, Paul George, Tyrese Maxey, Jared McCain, and whoever else is along with them can't be a 500 basketball team or above next season, I mean, that's pretty embarrassing. Personally, I'm just over being completely poverty without Joel Embiid. It's time to take steps in the right direction in that regard. And if they finally do, he can take a back seat during the regular season, take the Jimmy Butler approach, and hopefully he can be fully healthy or relatively healthy during the postseason, because we know one thing about him. He's going to play through pretty much any injury. My question to you guys in the comment section, do you think the Sixers should bring him back? And how much money do you think he'll be getting? $15 million or even more than that? Let me know your thoughts below.